Sir Rowland Hill, the man who revolutionized global postal systems. Imagine a world where sending a simple letter could cost you the equivalent of a week's wages. A world where communication across distances was a luxury reserved for the affluent and the exchange of ideas was stifled by prohibitive costs. In the early 1830s, the esteemed poet Samuel Taylor Coleridge witnessed such a world firsthand. During one of his long walks among the English lakes, he observed a poignant scene. A young serving girl unable to afford the postage for a letter from her brother. The cost? 1 shilling, approximately 25 cents at the time, but a significant sum for someone in her position. This incident was emblematic of the broader societal challenges posed by the antiquated and inequitable postal system of the time. The early 19th century British postal system was a labyrinth of complex rates and regulations, often impeding rather than facilitating communication. At that time, postage fees were exorbitant and calculated based on the number of sheets in a letter, the distance traveled, and whether it crossed county boundaries. For individuals like the serving girl in Coleridge's story, this meant that receiving a letter could equate to a significant portion of their weekly income. The prohibitive costs discouraged correspondence, effectively silencing the voices of the working class and limiting social mobility. The oppressive postal rates led to widespread evasion and corruption. To circumvent costs, people devised ingenious methods, such as sending blank letters with coded markings on the outside. These symbols conveyed messages without the need to pay for the contents within. In certain urban centers, it is estimated that up to 75% of potential postal revenue was lost due to these evasive practices. The high cost of postage had profound social consequences. Families separated by distance, whether within the country or across the Atlantic, found it nearly impossible to maintain regular contact. Understanding the transformative impact of Sir Rowland Hill requires an examination of his formative years, which were steeped in progressive education and innovative thinking. Rowland Hill was born on December 1795 in Kidderminster, Worcestershire, into a family that valued education and reform. His father, Thomas Wright Hill, was a schoolmaster in Birmingham, known for his liberal views and support of free trade and republican ideals. Educated at home, Hill's upbringing was influenced by the American pedagogical approach, emphasizing reasoning, critical thinking, and the Socratic method. This upbringing instilled in Hill a lifelong commitment to social improvement and innovation. By the age of 11, Hill had begun assisting in teaching at his father's school. Demonstrating remarkable aptitude, he fully transitioned to teaching by 12 and soon assumed administrative responsibilities. Hill introduced groundbreaking educational reforms, including the abolition of corporal punishment, a radical departure from prevailing norms. He implemented a democratic governance system within the school, complete with a constitution and a comprehensive code of laws exceeding 100 pages. Students participated in elections for monitors and engaged in deliberative assemblies akin to parliamentary proceedings. This system not only imparted academic knowledge, but also cultivated civic responsibility and ethical reasoning. Hill was profoundly influenced by the writings of Maria Edgeworth, whose works advocated for social reform and the application of rational principles to solve societal issues. Inspired by her emphasis on utilitarian ethics, Hill resolved to dedicate his life to endeavors that would yield significant benefits for humanity. Hill's transition from educational reformer to postal innovator was spurred by his acute awareness of systemic inefficiencies adversely affecting society. In the 1830s, while recovering from health issues and seeking respite from the demands of running a large school, Hill turned his analytical mind toward the postal system. He recognized a fundamental economic discrepancy. The cost of transporting a letter was vastly lower than the fees charged. Through comprehensive data analysis, Hill determined that the actual cost of conveying a letter from London to Edinburgh, a distance of approximately 400 miles, was merely 1/18 of a penny. Building on this insight, Hill proposed a radical restructuring, implementing a uniform rate of 1 penny per half-ounce letter, irrespective of distance within the United Kingdom. Hill's plan also introduced the concept of prepaid adhesive postage stamps, a novel idea that would streamline postal operations and reduce opportunities for fraud. Advocating for such transformative reform required strategic engagement with both the public and political spheres. In 1837, Hill published his seminal pamphlet, Post Office Reform, Its Importance and Practicability, wherein he articulated his findings and detailed his proposals. Despite initial resistance from postal authorities, Hill's ideas gained traction within influential circles. Leading publications such as The Times endorsed his proposals, amplifying public awareness and support. The groundswell of public advocacy led to legislative action. In December 1839, Parliament passed the Uniform Penny Postage Act, sanctioning the overhaul of the postal system. The act received royal assent, and the new rates came into effect on January 10, 1840, marking a pivotal moment in the democratization of communication. Executing the reforms necessitated comprehensive operational restructuring and adept management. The government appointed Hill to the Treasury to oversee the implementation of his proposals, but initially offered a modest remuneration of £500 per annum. Hill meticulously addressed logistical challenges, standardized procedures, and introduced innovations such as the penny black, the world's first adhesive postage stamp, facilitating efficient prepayment and processing. The impact of the reforms was immediate and substantial. The reduction in postage rates and simplification of the system not only enhanced accessibility, but also stimulated economic activity by facilitating commerce and information exchange. Hill's relentless dedication to reforming the postal system ultimately earned him widespread acclaim and lasting recognition. In 1842, following a change in government, Hill was dismissed from his position due to political maneuvering and opposition from within the post office. The public response was one of indignation. A national testimonial raised £13,360, a significant sum at the time, as an expression of gratitude and support. Prominent figures and ordinary citizens alike rallied to Hill's cause, highlighting the essential nature of his contributions to societal advancement. In 1846, with the return of a more favorable administration, Hill was appointed secretary to the Postmaster General. In recognition of his extraordinary service, Hill was knighted in 1860 by Queen Victoria. Upon his retirement in 1864, he was granted a pension equivalent to his full salary and awarded a parliamentary grant of £20,000, tangible acknowledgments of his indelible impact on public service. Hill's postal reforms resonated beyond Britain's shores. By the late 19th century, numerous countries, including the United States, Germany, and France, had adopted similar systems. His principles laid the groundwork for the Universal Postal Union, established in 1874, which continues to coordinate international postal policies today. Reflecting on Hill's impact, Sir Rowland Hill's pioneering efforts revolutionized the postal system, transforming it from an arcane and exclusionary institution into a democratic service accessible to all citizens. Lessons from Hill's life. Hill's life offers valuable lessons on the importance of perseverance, intellectual integrity, and a commitment to the public good. His willingness to challenge outdated conventions and advocate for systemic change serves as an enduring inspiration for those seeking to effect meaningful improvements in society. Closing thoughts. In an era where instantaneous digital communication is often taken for granted, it is essential to recognize the foundational contributions of visionaries like Sir Rowland Hill. His legacy is a testament to the power of thoughtful reform and the enduring human pursuit of connecting with one another.